Episode 37, Rangers of the Grid. It's Richard Carry-On. That's Marcus Morton. It looks a little different today because we leveling up in this new year. Happy New Year.
It's a new year, new Rangers of the same Rangers of the Grid, new outlook.
It's a new year. Yes, it is.
Oh, dang. Bro, so you know how, like, speaking of Big E.
And Cedric the Entertainer stole my stuff.
How's Cedric gonna steal his stuff? Anyway, back to Big E. Forget Cat Williams. No, so you know how,
I
like,
ain't wearing a dress.
But he'll perm his hair though. Okay. So so you know how a lot of like the Lightning collection figures and stuff have been like popping up like Ross, Burlington's, and like those other stores.
Yeah, I almost went to our Burlington. I actually haven't went to our local Burlington ever, but I thought about going there because I saw that too. Like online, people are finding.
Well, I did the other day, like last week.
You went to Burlington?
Yeah. So it was the same. It was the same day that I called you about the Ranger Slayer pop.
Is it cool? Hey, this is total sidebar of just like, hey man, I ain't been to it yet.
It goes with it. It goes. Hey, we're talking about Ranger stuff, and Big E, but it all connects. So, because I remember at Ross was where I found TJ in space with the Galaxy Glider,
which you've always talked about wanting, and you probably got it for the best deal.
Oh, yeah, I got for $8.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Wasn't it like $30?
Yeah,
at Target when we first saw it the very first
like 30
time.
something. Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I was like, because I saw the Burlington, I was like, well, maybe we'll see, but then it's like, Christmas just happened, so probably their selection, if they had anything, was going to be low. They ain't have nothing. But what they did have, do you remember when WWE came out with, and this is when Big E was on his singles run, before he got the title, they did that like quad of him, like the ATV. Yeah. And so it has him on there, bro. The head is gone. So it's just like his neck. And so I was like, oh, this is the Ridge Holland edition, I guess.
Oh, dang.
Why he doing that gimmick though? Why he reliving that gimmick? Just saying. Not
edgy.
I get it, but it's like, hey man, that's people still sour about it.
But, sure. Anyway. I bet he's more sour than people.
Probably, yeah. 100%. But
yeah, I bet he has more guilt of it than anyone else.
Oh yeah.
And I'll say this, I'll say my piece. We all know what you signed up for.
Exactly. At the end of the day, accidents happen, and it was an accident. It just sucks.
Yeah. But yeah, man, it's a new year. 2024. We're here. We're recording this, and it will be released officially tomorrow. But yeah, man, that's a new year. Before we dive into our topic, and actually, it's kind of a controversial topic a little bit. We're talking about Power Rangers in like the bootleg universe. Specifically, like what I'm curious to talk about is the short film that came out in 2015. But before then, man, like 2024, like what do you? I don't want to say like what's your goals, but like what do you hope to accomplish this year? You got 12 months,
Yeah.
So what do you hope to accomplish?
Mine is this is going to be funny, but you will understand it. Is to be more selfish.
No, it's okay.
In the sense of like saying no. Respectfully. Okay. No is my word for 2024. Like, I feel like I obviously do way too much, so I'm starting to definitely scale back on things. In life, and especially stuff that's like, hey, this is happening, all this. Oh, and like, nope. So my response for a lot of that is going to be no. So, and I'll be at peace with it. So
that sums up 2024.
Yeah, I've already started it. I've already started in some areas, and it's pretty great. I'm not gonna lie. A lot of man. Stress is very stress relief in a sense. But awesome. Yeah. So I mean, that's kind of mine. Plus, it's also just finishing the grind, bro. School's about to start here in like a couple weeks. Final semester of Chico staying. Boy is going to be graduating and heading on to the career path. So it's really like, all right, let's just finish strong. I got 2 classes. So it's like, dude, let's just finish strong. Don't get all like, senioritis and all that. But definitely senioritis had the job. Definitely over there, like, all right, dude, like, let's wrap this up.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, that's awesome.
What about you?
I have a few. I have like some tests and classes I need to finish up to do credentialing, like to be done with the credential program. So that's a goal I have to finish, right? Because until it's done, it's still on the table, still on the wall. Besides like that, I want to get, I guess you would say, more healthy this year because I am looking to expand my family.
Yeah.
Whether and likely won't be like, oh, I'm having a kid this year, but we will be expecting during this year. And to do that though, I need to be healthy, right? I need to live as long as I can.
Oh, yeah, man.
So that's already been going. Shout outs to the punching bag and mini home gym I'm setting up in my garage. But yeah, man, I got puppies, I've been doing a lot of handy stuff around the house. A goal though, another goal is I like talking like this. I like conversating. I think I can talk about a lot of things. And one thing I always dreamed to talk about was sports. I used to want to take Stuart Scott's job when I was 8 years old. Living in Sutter, we lived off Sutter Street, and I was in first and second grade. And I used to tell people my dream job was to take Stuart Scott's job and talk along with Rich Eisen. And I used to look in the paper. One of the only reasons my parents got the paper is so Richard could look at all the stats of sports. So I think within the next month, I'm going to try to do a solo sports podcast 3 days a week. Early morning.
Oh.
Through about 3. I'm going to try for 3 days a week. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Because I've always wanted to talk about sports. It's going to be specific sports.
Yeah.
No offense to anyone. I'm not into baseball like that. I don't watch hockey.
Hey, baseball's a little like you got to be a fan, bro.
And I like I like it when you're there. 162 games, a long time.
Hey, dude, as someone who honestly, like back in the day, was like this. That's what I'm gonna do with my life. Like I was full blown, like I'm gonna be a baseball player. Especially because once I hit middle school and those like final years of little league, when you're you're like the older group, your boy was killing it. But then I broke my hand, and then mom felt bad, so took me to a comic book shop, and here I am.
But yeah, I even have a working title, but I won't say it yet.
Okay.
Shout outs to AI. AI has been my friend when it comes to this thing.
Allen Iverson? You friends with Allen Iverson, dog?
No, man, I ain't Reebok.
Oh, dang.
Although I like him, but this ain't the AI I need in 2024.
Hey, I wrote a paper on him like a year ago, so we cool.
Sure. But yeah, that's something I do want to grow more and do things like that. Because to me, it's fun, and I think I have something to offer.
Yeah.
But yeah, 2024 is going to be a good year. 2023 was like a great year for me personally. And the hope is that it only gets better, right? Like that's always what I'm kind of always say. It's like the best is still yet to come. It's not going to get worse. It's only going to get better.
No.
So yeah, I'm excited for the year. Just to, get tackling it and get going on it. Already doing that as best as I can. And yeah, like even with this podcast, like I want it to grow to where I'm not even saying like anymore. Like originally I was like, oh, so we can do this and we can do that. Truth be told, I just almost want to be acknowledged. Roman Reigns style. Yeah, like it's known out there. Like I would love for it to be known out there that like, hey, this is a Power Rangers podcast. Oh man, I want to listen to like a podcast about Power Rangers. Tight. Go to Rangers of the Grid.
Boom. Here you go.
You know what I mean? Like that's kind of what I want to do.
And that's a good thing too, because look at like, growing and improving, especially now with this like whole new way we're doing it now and everything, Yeah,
it looks
way more professional.
Yeah, 100%. And also too, like I guess like not the last goal, but it's like an important goal, is I am going to be much more frugal this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I haven't bought a single thing for myself so far this year that like directly is to me.
Yeah.
Like I bought stuff for my house. I bought stuff for my dogs. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
That's yeah.
Yeah,
I get
but
what,
like
yeah.
as far as like even collecting, like I mean, I've been telling my wife like I have stuff I need to put up, so I'm not going to
Mhm.
collect another thing really until like I put
Makes
everything
sense.
up. And
Yeah.
even then, I think I'm going to be pretty strict. Like unless I'm getting a deal, I don't know if I want to like
No, indeed.
spend so much money.
I mean, that makes sense, especially, trying to turn me, to an uncle and everything. You got to watch that.
Yeah, like
You
you
know,
already know, like
you're gonna be like Steve Carell at the end of the day, trying to hawk these things off to pay for stuff.
well, and that and
Right.
like other stuff too. Like I just think about it and
Mm-hmm.
like where I'm putting my money at this year is going to be different. You
Mm-hmm.
know, and
100%.
it's all just more to set up for the future, which isn't a
Yep.
bad thing.
No,
But
not at
yeah,
all.
Rangers of the Grid's going to keep growing. It's going to get bigger and bigger. I will say a goal for Rangers of the Grid this year is that we have at least 3 to 4 social media platforms that have at least 1,000. Instagram needs to be at least 2,000 by the end of the year.
Oh yeah, I think Instagram will easily do it. Honestly,
Instagram, yeah, but before I go back to break, I will be
yeah.
opening up a TikTok and a Facebook, and I will go a little more on Threads. X is different. I haven't figured out a way to blow up on X. I don't know.
Yeah.
X is a different one. I'm not saying it's bad. Like to be honest with you, X is more entertaining than Threads, but
Yeah.
X is entertaining. Twitter, it's very
Yep.
entertaining. We ain't on the list, dog, so we good. But anyways, back to the important stuff for us right now. All right. Rangers of the Grid is diving into some of these bootleg universes that, have been, I feel like Marcus going around the fandom for years. And a lot of it has to do with, I think, just the passion of the fans. And that's what I relate it to. We always want more, right? Which is great. It's a great product for Power Rangers that your hardcore fans want more.
Yes.
And I don't know which one you want to talk about. I'll let you lead on this, but I can't wait to talk about that short film because I've been.
That's what we were talking about. That's what I thought we were all talking about.
Oh, okay, cool.
Episode. That's why, episode title you can see is like that power hyphen Rangers, that slash, because that's what it was called. That was the bootleg universe.
Yeah, nice. What, 14-minute video?
Yeah, it was about 4. I think altogether you watch the credits and stuff was like
16. Yeah, if you watch the credits.
And it's funny because at first when I went back and rewatched it, I realized I never fully watched like all the like credits, and I was like, what if I was missing out on some in credit stuff? Because everybody always has to try to throw a hook in there.
Well, that was the timeline when that started.
Yeah, and so I was thinking, I'm like, man, did I like miss something? Almost like, dude, like what? Almost 10 years ago this came out.
Oh, I know.
And so I was like,
wild.
Did I miss something? And so I was like, just watching the credits, like, nah, I didn't miss anything. But just that thought, though, that
So, Marcus, let's talk about it.
Right.
It's directed by Joseph Kahn, right?
Yeah.
Now, what do we know about him? What do we know about Joseph Kahn?
I don't know nothing.
I feel like I don't really know nothing either.
He related to Tony Khan?
Maybe that's how you got the filming. Honestly, and this is all, I don't want to sound messed up. He looks like that comedian. What is his name? Jimmy I.O.
Yeah, Jimmy I.O. Yeah.
Is that who it is? Jimmy O Yang.
Oh, okay.
He's in a Christmas movie I really like.
Yeah, no, I know exactly who you're talking about.
He looks very similar to him. I'm not being racist. I'm telling the truth.
Music videos and stuff.
Oh yeah, he has a ton of credits, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
He's directed quite a bit, dude. He's directed your boy Khaled.
Oh, but of course,
a lot of Mariah Carey stuff. My goodness, a lot of Mariah Carey stuff.
Yeah,
a lot of DJ Khaled stuff.
Backstreet Boys.
Yeah, BB Rex. J Lo, T Swift, a
Mm-hmm.
lot of T Swift.
He did
Like,
Eminem's Without Me. Dang.
that's sick. Okay, that makes actually sense now.
Yeah.
Oh, he did Taylor Swift's Bad Blood though, bro.
Oh, but of course. Hey, that makes all the sense now of this. Like of
Carrie
this whole.
Hilson, huh? Oh, he did Kush for Dr. Dre, Akon, and Snoop Dogg.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, huh? I Can Transform You. He did the I Can Transform You
Hey,
with Brown and Weezy
now,
them.
yeah, now I'm starting to see a thread here.
He did Lady Gaga's Love Game, right? Like
Okay.
Womanizer for Britney Spears. Remember that video?
Yeah. A
Chris
lot of
Brown's Forever.
a lot of those videos had like lots of kind of like special effects, very.
Yes, this is all
And
making sense now,
if
right?
they didn't have like special effects, there was kind of like a grittiness or like that underground like a fight could break out. Like because I remember Love Game for Lady Gaga was like in a freaking parking structure or something.
Do you remember Sweet Escape?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he did Incomplete with Backstreet.
Oh, dang. Take me back to my 8th grade year.
Britney Spears, My Prerogative. He
Oh
did
God.
some Offspring, some Blink 182. He did Toxic. This makes
sense.
all the sense. Bro, he did X Gonna Give It to You.
All the sense in the world.
Dude, like as I'm reading this is like okay, like this guy makes all the sense. He did Damage by TLC. He did Nelly and Timberlake when they had that song "Work It." I remember listening to that. That wasn't like I didn't know that was a music video to that. I just remember the song.
Yeah, I remember seeing that like years. I mean, yeah.
He did Purple Hills, bro.
Of course.
Like, dude, this is like all the sense in the world to me of why. Oh wow, random Faith Hill and Elton John though. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
He did Stronger, some Wu-Tang. So he's at the cookout. Blackstreet, Rob Zombie. What the heck? And you know what? He did a ton of Backstreet, but I'll leave it with this. He did some Sugar Ray. Someday, where my life has passed me. Yeah, dude. He out here doing like freaking Tony.
Oh dang!
Out here doing Montel, Jordan. Like what the heck? Okay, so I guess we could say we know what he's into.
Yeah, so he definitely did that, but or like directed it, but like the main person that kind of put the thing together of this like bootleg movie was Shankar, who this guy is notorious for like his bootleg universe. Like he has like this one called Dirty Laundry with the Punisher.
Mm-hmm.
It was actually like supposed to be a continuation of the 2004 Punisher movie with Thomas Jane, which honestly I really love that movie. It's such a good movie.
Now I have a question.
What's up?
Isn't this the same guy that talked about Hexagon? No.
Shankar, no.
Okay. Man, I'm just getting them all mixed up. If you know what I'm saying. Everybody's blending in today.
Hey, dog.
That one I can take full advantage of. I don't even care.
Dog. Hey, this your cousin over here.
It is.
So like he's done like all these kind of like unofficial, like he's kind of one of the more like, because now that like when you were talking about earlier, there's these sort of like a lot of fan films of Power Rangers, especially that are like getting bigger in like production value, like the Psycho Menace that just came out. So like you have the whole like Unworthy universe that's going on. Then there's like the Bloodline of the Grid and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So there's a lot going on, especially in then like Ninja Storm ones and all that. But he's kind of like the first not the first person, but he's kind of like the main guy that did a lot of like the bigger budget, like full-blown movie quality style, like I don't want to say parodies, but you know, these kind of like fan films.
Isn't like the Unworthy series too? You would say
no, he's not part of Unworthy.
No, I'm not saying he's a part of it, but I mean like that's another like fan type thing. Like it's not Saban.
Oh yeah.
Like, it's not Hasbro.
Yeah, and then this guy too also did this one. Like I remember a couple years ago. I know I've shown you that it was like the end of Pokemon when it was like that gritty like how Pokemon really was, like if it how were to be if it was real,
Yeah.
like Team
He did
Rocket and
this?
everything. And what's I will say this, because what's interesting about that one, and then with this Power Rangers bootleg one that he did, a lot of this stuff kind of bleeds into then the actual projects that end up coming later. Like Pokemon. So the end of Pokemon with that one, there's a scene where they're having this like underground battle and all that. Dude, if you look at that scene from that short film, it looks exactly like the like underground battling arena from Detective Pikachu.
And are you saying that is this guy specifically that does a lot of
Yeah,
this stuff? Yeah,
yeah,
Ari Shankar or
yeah,
Adi?
yeah.
What was it? Yeah,
Adi
that's cool.
Shankar.
That's actually a cool thing. I'm
Well,
just I have a question based off of like, and this is so random. This is a Richard question.
all right.
How does he monetize these?
I don't know. I don't know if he does or not.
Yeah, because
Unless he
and I
has
guess
a what's
let's
up?
talk about like this, like with this film specifically. If you remember, Marcus, it was only on YouTube originally for like a couple days, like 2 days.
Yeah, I think it got pulled.
Oh yeah, I've read an interview that this director for this Joseph Kahn did talking about how like yeah, like it got like what is it, 12 to 15 million
Mm-hmm.
views in the first 2 days, and it got pulled from Vimeo
Yeah.
and YouTube right away. And what really brought it back was the fans.
Yeah. Well, because then also even Saban put like a cease and desist to them about
Yes,
it.
yes, yeah.
And but this is the thing. So he's over here saying you gotta stop this, don't put this out there. But dude, don't like you look at this opening scene of this bootleg Power Ranger universe with like the battle and the Power Rangers running in.
Mm-hmm.
You're telling me that was, and then when you see the opening scene of the 2017 Power Rangers movie, you telling me they're not like one did not inspire, like it feels very much like they seem very related, and not just because it's Power Rangers, but this is like mid battle into towards the end of the battle, stuff's going bad, and it's just like that's how we start in this.
Oh yeah, like I think you're 100% correct on that. That they were really inspired by that.
Mm-hmm.
Because man, like you're just how you said it, Marcus. The opening of that was basically the same thing we got a few
Yeah,
years later. Right? Very similar.
yeah,
Almost to the T of like the ground up.
exactly. It was the whole vision of like, oh, we're zooming on the ground. There's this battle, and then
Yeah.
Rangers dying. So
Helmets, just helmets like that.
yeah,
Like,
so it's one of those things that's like, yeah, you might put a cease and desist on them, Saban, but when you was doing this movie, you're like, you know what? I still like that though.
and
Let's
let's
do the
talk
parlay.
about the film first, right?
All right.
Before we go into like what we think,
Mm-hmm.
what the fandom thought and thinks now. Let's talk about the film first. It has that opening type scene, right? Where like automatically you can tell it's different. It's not your
Yeah.
normal Power Rangers because we have guns going on full on, right? Like
Yeah.
there's guns, fighting, death, like Pink Ranger busts out a blade,
Yeah, dude.
like right away.
Dude, she got that shank on her, bro. It's like just
Yeah, and man, who right away, I don't want to say I took it more serious, but it definitely caught my attention seeing James Van Der Beek in this. Did it not catch your attention? You were
it
like,
caught.
what?
I was like, what is Dawson doing on here?
Yeah. Hey,
What is
also, what is Mox doing on here?
what is Dawson doing on here? That was all I was like,
I don't want to win. That's all you kept
whoa.
hearing, huh? In your head.
And it's just fun because I was like, but then what's funny though, he like actually co-wrote it.
Yeah.
So I'm like, are you telling me James Van Der Beek is a Power Ranger fan?
I bet you he was. See, and that's something hilarious. Like I wouldn't mind talking to James Van Der Beek
Oh,
about
yeah,
that. Angus. Like I'd really want to talk to him about Angus. I
yeah.
like Angus a lot.
Well, then plus also, I mean, the other big star in this was Katie Sackhoff, who
Yes.
is playing Kimberly, but she's a queen in the sci-fi world. So her being a part of this it's not like a surprise as much as actually like James Van Der Beek. Like seeing James Van Der Beek, you're like, what the hell?
Well, yeah, when I
So
saw her too, I was like, wait, I've seen this girl,
yeah,
like, and she's huge now, by the way. I don't know
even
if you know
like
this.
she's ever
She's
since this,
Bo-Katan.
yeah.
Like she's Bo-Katan in The Mandalorian.
And I feel like this kind of in a sense, I don't want to say this is what propelled her, but it definitely, I will say it like brought her like almost, it widened her audience in a sense,
Well,
because
yeah,
before
she
she
did
was,
a lot, dude. Like
yeah,
since this, you're right, Marcus. Like
because
since
she was
this,
like just the girl from, not just the girl, but her main claim to fame was Battlestar Galactica. All right,
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
That has a definite fan base,
And
and
she
it
was
is
in
a,
like it's weird, Marcus, though. She was in like movies,
yes,
right? But wasn't ever like, I guess you'd say like the bigger character, right?
yeah, she's always kind of like that supporting that side
Like
or just
Oculus.
there.
I do remember her in that scary
Yeah.
movie. Riddick, which was lame.
But yeah, she was always like that girl that would be in like sci-fi like stuff. But then she did this, and then I remember after this, that was when I was like, oh, because I remember seeing, I'm like, why does she seem familiar? You know, because she's that type of actress that was always in stuff. But then after that, then I remember then she was on The Flash
Yeah,
and played the
she for
character
like
on there.
6 episodes.
And yeah, and but that character, I remember it was like a big deal. People were like, oh dang, she's coming over here. And all the stuff about her going over there, they would also say, you know, Katie Sackhoff from Battlestar Galactica and Power Rangers, they would mention this bootleg universe in it. So it was like, and now look at her. Now she's on what, Mandalorian and all that whole
Well,
Jon
like
Favreau Star Wars universe.
she was in it before then too,
Yeah,
because
she did the voice, right?
she did the voice of Bo-Katan for
Yeah.
years. So like that's why I thought it was really cool that they put her in
Yeah.
Mandalorian.
So
And
it's
I don't
like
know how much you've watched the Mandalorian, but like that
the first
group
2
of bounty
seasons.
hunters that Sasha Banks is in,
Yeah.
and this and that, she's the leader of it.
Yeah, no, I know that.
Like,
So
she's a big deal, bro.
well, I heard she also might be taking over because I guess homie might be done.
They need him for the movie.
Oh, they making a movie?
Yeah, it's not going to be a series. It's going to be a movie because it's arguably the most popular thing they have right now.
Well, it's the best thing they have right now. Like, I don't know, like, you know me, dog. I don't know Star Wars. I have watched The Mandalorian 1 and 2, and I do know that is like, one, it's good, but it's also like, I do know that's the best thing they have right now. That's what's kind of keeping Star Wars afloat.
I mean, Star Wars is always going to be afloat.
Oh, no,
there's too much product.
No, 100%. But that's like the main thing right now.
Watch Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan was sick. Anyways, yeah, Anakin Skywalker, bro, came back. But yeah, so they had her in it, and I just thought it was interesting that how, like, right away, dude, this is rated R.
Oh yeah,
like this ain't PG-13. This is rated R.
No,
what they talk about, it's and because it's so short, I'm just gonna kind of like talk about it in spurts of they kind of went. It was like this guy and his team of writers were like, what are all the things we talk about that we wish we knew now?
Mm-hmm.
Or that we feel like was needed now, because some of the things that they went about were very strict to the real life people.
Yeah. I also feel too, I mean, and let's be like, this came out almost a decade ago, which at this time we were now a decade into this whole, since Batman Begins, this grounded, gritty, like more realistic.
Everything's dark, right? Everything's dark
like,
at the time.
Everything's darker. Everything's gonna be more, except for Venom. Venom's gonna be lighthearted and funny, which I appreciate. But it's everything's kind of more grounded. Like, if this were to happen in reality, this is what it would be. And I feel like when you take that approach to Power Rangers, it is gonna be dark. When you think about it, it's probably one of the darkest things out there. when you really break it down and look at the concept of the series as a whole.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
It's this whole like intergalactic war that has been happening for eons, and now it's like, hey, now we're going to entrust these teenagers to deal with this. And it was
sure.
like that. You're telling me that's not going to affect them later on in life?
Yeah.
So
it is just interesting, right? Like how you said it. They it makes sense, right? Because that's what everyone would always talk about is like, oh man, you use these technically children, teenagers, right?
Yeah.
Not adults to do this intergalactic alien war. And I just think too is interesting of like Yellow Ranger's dead right away.
Yeah.
Now that's a play off of was it I always mess up her first name terribly.
Hui Trang.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't that interesting? Like right away she has to be dead because the real one was dead.
And I'll say this too, a lot of this even to me bled into Once and Always.
Okay.
Like, because look at it like with Once and Always, and compare this. Trini's dead. This Trini is dead in this bootleg universe. Obviously, Once and Always dealt with the death of Trini in a different way, but still, we have this death there, which is connecting to real life stuff. Also, but just the other comparison is that we have Billy is like this Iron Man type guy. He's this tech billionaire now.
Which makes sense, right?
He's got Cranston Tech, and which was literally the name of his company in Once and Always. And I don't remember if there was ever an episode where he talked about it one day of like, and we just pulled it from there. But like, I'm pretty sure they started Cranston Tech in this.
Yeah, I think so. They probably did.
So I'm just saying, like, as much as people wanted to say, like, ooh, no, stop this, y'all taking a lot. This gave a lot to what Rangers could be.
No, for sure. I think you're right. But I just thought it was interesting of like, let's stay on Billy for a second.
Yeah.
He's gay.
Yeah.
Like
they had the Rolling Stone article, like that fake Rolling Stone article or whatever it was, Forbes or Times. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, like this is kind of interesting. Like they made sure to make it like he's gay.
Yeah.
And it's fun. I say it's interesting because like that's openly and blatantly done because that's what was up with the David Yost. I just found that very like, oh, okay, but like of course, right? Like
I think that, but then also it's just kind of like well, hey, we're doing like a R-rated Power Rangers thing, why not? Especially when it's like we're not kids anymore. Which is what I definitely feel like this was 100% aimed at the fans from like our age and up,
Yeah.
But so I think it's kind of one of those things where it's like, well, yeah, let's look at it. Okay, Billy's gay. Hey, we're not kids anymore, It's not one of those things where it's like in a kid show where it's like,
No, but I don't even think about it like that. I think of it like, okay, so this right here, basically, a lot of the things directly told us that we're going on as if these characters are the real people.
Yeah, it was a bunch of like realism mixed with real life stuff mixed with the show.
And truth be told, what I think made Saban and others like taken aback, besides the fact that it garnered so much quick interest and it wasn't theirs, right?
Yeah,
which I think is huge, right? Like, and I kind of agree with it in a way of like side tangent, but like, let's say you were a superstar, a big star wrestling, right? You worked at WWE or AEW, and someone's selling bootleg T-shirts of you as Marcus X. You don't see a dime of that.
Yeah,
wouldn't that bug you? Okay, and I guess I can see it from their end, right? They own this property. They don't see a dime of it, and it's getting popularized. But also, Power Rangers, for all intents and purposes, is a kids show.
Yeah,
So now this thing that's trending, it's hot, bro. We saw it within the first couple days.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, right away with our boy Mike sending it to us.
Yep.
Because guess what? He saw it as a trending top video on YouTube.
Yeah.
Remember back in the day, there used to be a big thing about
Yeah,
trending
it
on
was the
YouTube.
number one trend. It was the number one thing on YouTube.
Yeah. So like, think about that. They're like getting in their information. Oh man, Power Rangers trending number one right now on YouTube. What? Really?
Like, what?
We see it, and guess what we see? Zach with some hookers snorting blow.
No. Those weren't hookers, bro. If you look at the credits, that was Divatox and Scorpina.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay, yeah.
It was.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Yeah,
I
yeah.
saw that in the credit. I was like, look at Zach.
Old boy just killing them. But anyways,
yeah, and then there was actually two versions because I remember the first version. So yes, it did get brought down, but then it is back up. Like you can still go see the original one.
yeah.
But
with no comments on
the original one, dude. That scene with them, they're topless.
You're right. I do remember that. That was back when YouTube was a little different.
There were two different versions. There was like, yes, you still like, hey, like you had to click this features new like brief scenes of nudity and all this blah blah blah. Because when Zach's in there making out with both of them, they're out. Divatox and Scorpion got their girls out. So
you're right.
But then obviously that when it got put back up, it's just the one with them covered, and it's the more like not the mature content one.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. And the whole Divatox thing to me was kind of interesting because I mean I get this whole thing revolved around like the machine empire showing up, the government of the world, all the world's governments just basically surrendering, like, all right, fine, take it over. So it's like she came after them. So is she not trying to take over? Why is she there?
Mm-hmm.
Just a thought. Just a thought.
No, you're right. I just think it's interesting, right? When we talk about it like that. But yeah, that was interesting, and the director actually named that scene as one of the big reasons why he thinks that it got taken down right away.
Oh, 100%
by them. He's like, I'm sure they didn't want Rangers to be seen in that light. But I'll say this, that dark and edginess and grittiness literally reignited interest from those who used to watch Power Rangers.
Oh, 100%. And you have to remember too, at this time when this came out, we had already heard that they were making a movie. Because remember, the movie
it was already known. Lionsgate already put it out there.
Because the movie was delayed for like a minute. Mm-hmm. It was like, we're doing it, it's coming out this time. And then it was kind of like stalled. It was in developmental hell for like a minute. And then all of a sudden, it was like, boom, 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 here it is. Here's this person, this person, this person. They're casting it, and this is what it's going to be.
Now, Marcus, don't you think it's smart play to make it like as a love triangle with Tommy, Kimberly, Jason?
Oh, 100%.
Based off the last thing we saw in Turbo, right?
Yeah. Hey, the Turbo thing, but then also like the show. But even like in the 2017 movie, let's be real, that the trailer had that kiss in there. Kimberly's kissing Jason. And everyone's like, ooh, that's gonna be interesting when Tommy shows up.
Let's go deep, dog. Beginning of Power Rangers, it seemed like that was Jason's lady.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing too. That's weird because it was like, especially now, they always want to pair the red and pink together.
Mm-hmm.
The top guy and the top girl. Of course, they're gonna,
Yeah.
But this was, it always kind of did seem like in there, But dude, yeah, it's plus also we were literally just coming out of Twilight, and because of Twilight, the whole love triangle in any young adult franchise had to be a thing. There had to be some sort of love triangle.
Had to. That along with, I thought it was cool that James Van Der Beek was Rocky.
Dude. Yeah, let's talk about, because that's a very interesting point in this whole thing.
Because I don't, and tell me, Marcus, like, I don't think I missed it, but I don't remember Adam or Aisha even get anything.
Nope. he's the only one of the Stone Canyon trio there, which on the second go, or not second, because obviously this isn't the second time I watched this, like the most recent time of watching this, I realized, yeah, they weren't in this, but where are they?
Yeah.
So to me, I wondered if that
Who killed
was
him?
maybe, or maybe they're, I was like, it makes me wonder what happened. Like, there's so much in this that they can explore and do a whole thing on, which would be interesting. But what's interesting though, too, is there's that line, which, let's be real, like we always say, Rocky was in a very awkward situation because his suit was the face of the franchise, but he was not.
And this is why I think that they went with Rocky, which tells me the writers pay attention.
James Van Der Beek knew what he was doing.
Because think about it like this too. Like you said, Marcus, when he took the role, the mantle of being the Red Ranger, which was the face, automatically was downgraded. And as that first season went on, when he was Red, he was downgraded to below Billy in a way.
Yeah, Billy was essentially the number 2.
Yes. And remember we said
yeah,
even in that one episode with the Return of the Green Ranger, like it's kind of evident in the way he's talked to.
Yeah. And but then not that, but so they have that line in there when Kimberly even tells him, she's like, yeah, well, you were never really one of us anyway. Yes. Hell of a line.
And it's a good line because it's like,
that's kind of
that makes sense then, because if you remember, he used to question certain things early on, the character would. And then as they went on, like you said it before, Marcus, like even going into Zeo, he moved below Adam now.
Yeah.
Like technically, we can go off the numbers. The numbers,
he
right?
Ultimately, like the comedic relief. He became the comedic guy, like supposed to be the funny one, which is interesting because like normally those ones don't, like those characters are only just there for the quips. There's not a lot of focus put on them.
And there wasn't in some points if you go back on the seasons, especially in Zeo, I feel like. Especially Jason coming back. So I thought it was really cool. Interesting that he's like has machine-like, right? Because this makes a ton of sense too. Machine Empire. Doesn't that make sense? Because they didn't really win.
Yeah.
Like they didn't really beat them.
I'm trying to think.
Like think about the final battle.
Because I know King Mondo returned, because they defeated King Mondo, then Prince Gasket came, or another one showed up, but then King Mondo did come back, but then they defeated. I think it really just ended with them like fully defeating him, and then Jason losing his powers, and then it's Turbo. Because Zeo never had that like definitive ending.
No, that's what I mean. Like it was never like, I don't know. I felt like it was never like a fully like this is it. But also too, they didn't really do it to Zed and Rita either like that.
No, but then also look back at also Forever Red. You know, hey, remnants of the Machine Empire.
Yeah.
So that means that's like, okay, well, that would explain, well, yeah, we didn't really, defeat them. And that was, again, part of the fever dream of Hexagon, was tying up loose ends of what that showrunner wanted to do with it. Well, sorry, the showrunner that we know was not the showrunner. But that was kind of like the thing, they wanted to type loose ends. So that is one way of looking at it. It's like, okay, well, they didn't defeat them, so of course there'd probably still be generals, especially if they're like an intergalactic empire like that.
Yeah, like it's such a weird one. Remember, like sorry, like I'm looking at a quick synopsis of that last episode. It was so weird.
Yeah,
it was like, you're right, Jason losing his powers,
and then he just goes off with that girl Emily or whatever her name was.
Like they finally knocked off Homeboy's crown and like his head rolled off.
Yeah.
So like they basically killed him.
Yeah.
But like that was kind of it. Like there wasn't much else like with the rest of them, right?
No.
But Mondo's head like still talked.
Yeah.
Like he said, like swore vengeance on everybody. They haven't heard the last of them. So like they technically didn't win.
Yeah, it was just kind of
I
like
mean, in a way they won the battle.
Yeah, but it's more of like a we stalled them, I guess. But then in comes Turbo, and then it's just okay.
It was kind of cool though because I thought Machine Empire was cool.
Well, wait, hold up. Wasn't the Machine Empire also? I'm pretty sure they were in like the in space, they were. They were in
at the
space.
table, right?
They're at the
In the
table,
beginning?
like Mondo, Machina, they were there, and then even with at the end too, when the Z wave was going around, they got like all petrified and turned to dust and all that too. So it's kind of like an interesting thing. So it's like, so
that's a topic the comics need to hit.
Yeah, the machine, but then exactly because it's like so it wiped them out. So if it wiped out, throughout the whole universe, how come there were still remnants of them then? I mean, but then granted, it didn't knock out all of the evil, So
yeah, but like, I mean, God, like you said, Forever Red, they are back.
Exactly.
Like,
remember they had that, like it was like almost like a Buddha statue. To
comics need to hit on that.
For 100%.
Like that's an interesting one. Thinking about that, but yeah, and how interesting was it? Like Tommy's like, oh, he's like a ghost now. And like he wasn't in the way it. I'll give him this. The story they had in this short film was great because there was no slip ups.
Yeah,
it was straight the entire way, right? Of like you think it's Tommy. Oh man, he was a Rita made him a ranger, right? This and that, but no, he was really following. Just missing, right? Just missing at every point. Missing to save his fellow ranger at each stopping point. Because go ahead.
Well, just the interesting part of that, because like you said, they're using Kimberly as bait for him, and Rocky reveals that to her.
And how cool was it? Okay, let's talk about the reveal.
Yeah,
how cool was that? That they got Carla Perez to play Rita, right? And I think it ties up ends of like, bro, it should have always been Rita trying to get Tommy. That's why Zed was going after Tommy too, maybe at one point.
Well, because remember, she was working for. It was revealed that she was working for Zed.
Mm-hmm.
So knowing that, that's kind of like the big mess up that she had in a sense. Yeah. Okay, well now I really got to solve this, which always, gosh, it's my big what if in Rangers. I think right now is if Tommy was around and if he was still like imagine Tommy in Dino Fury or Cosmic Fury with Zed coming back like that.
It'd been interesting.
100%. I'm gonna say this.
He'd have had the Billy roll.
Oh, and then some. I feel like he was
because Tommy.
I remember like there's a rumor when they were doing Dino Charge, the season that had 10 Rangers on there. Because remember the last time we saw Tommy, he had the Brachio power. There's a Ranger in there. He had a Titanosaurus, which a Titanosaurus is an even bigger Brachiosaurus, which is insane to think about. But like the suit was just a silver. It was a silver suit, and so it was like, and the helmet looked very much like his Dino Thunder helmet. So there's a rumor someone had photoshopped it saying like he was coming back in, and a lot of people thought, dude, if he did come back, that'd be so sick.
Oh, I think it'd be great.
Like, and it's one of those things that's a big what if to me. I think now, like if he had been in there, but anyway, back to Bootleg.
The reveal was great because it makes all the sense. It was Rita.
Mm-hmm.
She acted as Kimberly, which makes sense. She's a witch, right? Like she can turn into these things, and she killed everyone.
Yeah, and so to me, I wonder what was besides her just trying to like, what's her whole thing just to get to Tommy or destroy him? And now it's like because I always thought like I always kind of wonder. I'm like, was she doing this to then like, okay, now I'm gonna go after the Machine Empire in a sense,
right? I don't know. Like
it was them.
It was almost
Or
like, what is she having him help her get them?
yeah.
Because he, the last thing he saw was Kimberly dying, right? He saw her
Mm-hmm.
die. So like she set up everyone like, let's talk about this because I thought this was such an interesting take. One of the ones that I like stuck in my head from this, Bulk and Skull setting Jason up.
Bulk in his Raider shirt and hat. Oh,
Yeah. But like, honestly, Marcus, like they got shit on by them so much.
and
Like,
that's the
what?
line
It
that
makes
Skull
sense.
says, or one of them says, "We're tired of, of you, country."
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. But then
It
the
makes
line of,
sense.
like why they did it. Oh, because the Machine Empire has better meth.
Yeah. 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 Sounds like they're out in Yuba County.
It looked like it.
It
It
did.
looked like it.
But I just thought that was an interesting take on them.
Yeah.
Because the way that this short film was set up, like, there's no in space.
Exactly. And that's what I was
There's
going
no
to say.
turbo, probably.
No, because of that. Like, because the Machine Empire comes and then essentially just takes over like that. That
Where's
means
Cat?
oh, interesting.
Where's Cat? Because she was the
Technically
Pink Ranger.
Yeah. There's some questions to this.
Because like if you're gonna have Rocky, like what
Why
does Kimberly never leave? Like why is Jason there? Is he the Gold Ranger? Well, if he's the Gold Ranger, cast the Pink Ranger.
Yeah. But maybe
where's Tanya?
I don't think he wouldn't have gotten gold yet.
Then where does Rocky come in?
100. Yeah.
Why does Jason matter? You know what I mean? Like these are just the simple questions of like,
no,
why does he matter then?
Well, I think, and that's the thing too. I think with obviously, this is like hey, we're just gonna make this short film type thing, and it's just a one-off.
Yeah.
But I think when you do that, you do bring up a lot of stuff that's like, great, oh, this is cool, and we do this and blah blah, that fits, do it. But then there's the whole thing of like, but wait, what about this? And then what about that? Which now begs, and I'm not gonna lie, I would love if there was like a continuation series of this somehow.
Yeah, like just something like I just keep wondering in my head, like where is this and that? But it is what it is, right? I think it's a really cool story, like a really cool short film. They did a great job with it. What do you think about the film?
Oh, dude, I loved it. I loved it 100%. I thought it was great because one, it's just Ranger content, and it's new Ranger content in the sense of like dang, we are about to get this movie here like in a year or two. So I wonder if they, it kind of opened it up to see like what could be possible.
Yeah.
I do remember everyone was kind of waiting to see if anybody else would say anything, because remember, this is at the time Jason David Frank was huge on that social media.
Oh my god.
He had like his show, like a little web series that he was doing and stuff. And then I remember seeing his video when he finally talked about it. He was like, I'm not a fan.
Because and you know what? Let's talk about that, because I looked up his and Austin St. John's about this, and let's talk about Jason David Frank's.
Yeah, he was not a fan of it because he said it's Rangers is supposed to always be about like family friendly, kid friendly stuff. At the end of the day,
he made a comment, and it makes sense. He said he's more of a PG-13 guy.
Yeah,
he's like, I don't really want, like, he wouldn't watch that stuff.
Yeah,
and that to me was interesting, just because I'm like, that wasn't even the interesting part. The interesting part was the comment he made about how like the Saban thing, and it was like, oh, he's still trying to get into that movie.
Yeah, because remember, the movie was very like up in the air, and it was like no one had been casted yet. There was the questions of who's going to be in it. Are there going to be past Rangers? Because all we knew was that it was going to be based on Mighty Morphin, but we didn't know exactly how. And so it was the questions of like, well, are any of the past ones going to show up? And I could definitely see him like, well, hey man, I should be in this. And I mean, he was ultimately, thank God. But you know,
Yeah, it's
what
just sorry.
what
Go
Austin
ahead.
say?
He gave his professional opinion, not his personal opinion.
Okay.
And he's funny. He was funny. He said, and I don't think either one makes that big a difference. But he goes, professionally, it looked like it was done really well.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like most he could say. He goes, yeah, it's like dark. It's a dark tone for Power Rangers. And that's kind of it. It was pretty short, very short, kind of straight to the point. And you know, it's not like he's like, I wasn't contacted by any of this. Why would I be?
Yeah.
And this is at the time though too, where he's not like trying for roles with Power Ranger stuff.
No.
I think he's just really getting back in the swing of things of going to cons at this time.
Yeah.
Whereas like Tommy definitely wanted a role in the movie. He even made a comment about how Saban approved of Bat in the Sun. And he promoted that while talking about it. As far as the fandom goes, I feel like the fandom's like almost 50-50.
Yeah. But I think yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, because I think like again, we're also one of the most toxic fandoms. And like dude, I mean, think about it. We always clamor for new stuff. We want new stuff, and then we get it. Or not just new stuff, but we want it new and in a different take. Do something different with it. And then we get it, and then we crap over it. Not everyone.
Yes.
But then we crap on it because it's so far different from like what we're used to in the original stuff and all that. So it's like I think
No, you're right.
But I think looking back at it now with like with like the 2017 movie, looking back now on it, I think a lot more people are realizing, wow, that it was different, but it was a lot better and it ages better. To me, this is still good. Like this bootleg movie never like floundered to me. It was never like I've been a fan of it since it came out. I still think even now, because I think it's even better now because of, let's be real, look at all the influence it has had on the franchise since it came out.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Opening scene in 2017 movie, Cranston Tech. You got, dude, one of the best fight scenes with Zach in that whole sequence.
Oh my dude, they gave it a ton of time too.
Bro, dude, first of all, Zach is like just doing his best Wesley Snipes' Billy Blanks. The whole hip hop keto thing was amazing. So sick. But just, that, and I think that sort of has like, and especially with the comics, because I don't even think the comics were a thing yet. They weren't. The comics hadn't even come out yet. And we definitely know that the comics did take a darker turn, Yeah,
the comics are
Jack and stabbing Tommy through the chest and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's like the comics are definitely darker, but I think, and yes, you can get away with that more in that form, but especially with this kind of open that like, hey, we can go this far with it, that people will say, well, hey, maybe that was a little too far, but let's go here instead of all the way out here with it.
No, you're right. I just thought it was interesting. Like, it was to me, it was great. Like, it was a good movie. Like, I liked it. Or excuse me, film. Like, I actually really liked it. Way more than I thought I would. Even watching it now, right? Because truth be told, it's been years, bro, since I've seen it.
Yeah.
It's been years, and I liked it. I can see why people don't like it, because truth be told, it's Power Rangers, but it's not. They went such a dark tone that I don't think that would ever happen.
Yeah, I think I would say this though, just because with everything of the whole, we'll see what's up with this reboot if they're doing it still. But I will say this: if they ever do like a big multiverse thing, how great would it be to see a Green Ranger with that like Tron style holographic,
That was really cool,
like
huh?
light up, dude? The shield. I was always kind of like, that's interesting. It was cool, but I just always thought it was kind of interesting how it wasn't like an actual like full blown like physical shield. You know,
It makes sense
but
though. I mean, think about it. Like it's a alien, like
yeah,
that,
no,
and the
it's
2017 movie. Like those kind of
yeah,
suits for stuff make so much sense because this is alien stuff.
exactly, and that's the thing I liked about like I remember telling people they're like, oh, those suits. I was like, dude, it's Alien.
Like that's the
Alien.
show.
How are we going to know that aliens have spandex? Like, that was always my thing. So I was like, so yeah, it should look different. It should look more spacey, space warrior ish, whatever. But yeah, man, I think this was a great thing because, like I said, it went so dark that it showed what was possible, and it's like, let's just bring it back a little bit because let's be real, dude. Once and always, it was dark for Ranger
Well,
standards.
dark for Power Rangers, yeah.
Yes, for Ranger standards, it was dark. They actually said kill. And hey, legit stabbed Rita through the chest, like
Yeah.
stabbed her and then blew her up and everything. But then not just that, but then we also see with the Cosmic Fury. Homie lost an arm.
Oh, yeah.
Which
I know.
is like, I know it was very like, oh, my arm is gone. It was just kind of like, but still, Cosmic Fury was a much darker tone. Because what happened with that? We saw an empire actually take over.
No, you're right. Like,
so it's like, besides the Cranston tech from Once and Always, come on, man. This bootleg universe is like, it left its mark.
Oh, for sure.
On the franchise.
Yeah, I liked it. I would love to ask questions about it. Just curious. Obviously nothing came of it, and it's not even considered a part of the like universe at all.
No.
Like,
but that's the great thing with the word multiverse.
You can always I still don't think it'll get in there.
Oh no, But no. I think it would be cool if like Kate Sackhoff was,
Sure.
I mean, if they like, hey, we're gonna. That's a hardcore cameo flex, but I don't know. We'll see.
Technically, like, and they can hang their hat on. It's blatant. The opening scene of this movie is copied.
Yes,
it's blatant. But yeah, man, it was actually cool. Truth be told, Marcus, I'm surprised we were able to talk about it this long.
Yeah, and I feel like there's even some more stuff we probably could break out, but well, no.
Yeah, for this shorter clip.
Yeah,
you would say it's short. It's like literally, if you're only watching that, it's about 14 minutes.
Yeah.
So that's a good one. Anything else on the horizon for you? Anything going on?
No, not really. Just I'll get back on the grind of things. So
we still got to figure out what we're gonna do for episode 38.
Yeah, and then start planning for 40 too.
Yeah,
40's coming up.
Fofos, I'm tipping. All right, man, let them out.
It's your boys. It's Richard. It's Marcus. We Rangers of the Grid. We got it. Grocery bag.